and I wouldn't have expected that. It's not on my list of places that I would go, and yet now I'd go back instantly in a heartbeat. If somebody offered, or if, an opportunity came up, I'd definitely go back. The first impression that I got there is it's hot and it's strict here. The military presence and the political presence there is very strong, but it's mostly just to protect themselves, and I do understand that, but it was just kind of intimidating at first. It took us about an hour to get into the country because we had to get our visas and they had to make sure everything went through okay. So that was intimidating a little bit, and the airports are kind of scary. But my time in Turkey was my favorite. I absolutely loved it. What you have to realize, though, is that you are going into a country that is 80% Muslim. You are going into a warm climate culture. So those are two things that right off the bat, if you're from North America, you're not going to be used to it. You have to go with an open mind. That is my number one tip, is that you have to be open to everything. When I travel, my mind is completely free and clear. I am willing to try anything. I am willing to go anywhere, do anything, as long as I feel safe and okay about it. Like, as long as I don't get a bad vibe that, I'm going to put myself in danger, I'll go for it. When I was in Vancouver for the summer, I went bungee jumping on a complete whim. I just try and have the most fun that I can. So the one thing that I didn't enjoy about that trip, and really the only thing that ruined it for me, is the people that I was with. They're not bad people, per se. I'm not trying to insult them. But a lot of them were very close-minded, and I didn't like that. I didn't care that we were in a Muslim country. I didn't care that people were different here. I loved it. I took every ounce of it in, and I absorbed it, and I wanted to experience everything. It's a new culture, why not? I may never go there again, so I'm going to make the most out of it, right? So that was the one thing I would suggest, is that if you're going to go to a country like this, or if you're going to go anywhere, make sure you're going with good people that you get along with, that are like-minded. I was very much the black sheep of the group. I thought a lot differently than a lot of them. I went with a church group, though, and frankly, that trip kind of put me off religion a lot. I'm not going to get into that, but it was just the closed-mindedness that really cheesed me right off. So first of all, go with an open mind. Second of all, try anything once. Turkey has about 150 types of kebabs there, and kebab doesn't mean meat on a stick per se, but it means just different types of meat and ways of cooking it and preparing it. The first meal that we ate there is my favorite thing I've ever eaten in my life. It was so good. It was on a boardwalk I can't even remember the name of the city, frankly, but it was the first place we went, and it was right next to the Mediterranean, and they served us. It was a pita bread with like shaved meat on it that was in kind of a tomatoey sauce, and then they pour hot butter on it. So good. It sounded really gross at first, but it was so good and so soft and melt in your mouth. Like, oh my gosh, nothing I've eaten has ever compared to that. We finished off with dessert and Turkish coffee, which you've got to try, as well as apple tea. They drink that in spades there. Like, I think our tour guide had maybe 30 cups a day. I'm not exaggerating. That's another thing too, is if you do go with a larger group, you are expected to have a tour guide. You legally can't rent a bus or anything like that without a tour guide. So we had Ozan, who was just amazing. He's actually the owner of a tour company there, and it was kind of his vacation time, but he was like, you know what, I'll come with you. This will be kind of my vacation too, but I'll still show you around, and, you have your tour guide. And he was phenomenal. Like, he went above and beyond. He was always willing to hang out with us, ask us questions. He cared about our well-being. He made sure that, when we were in a open place, like in a bunch of ruins, that we all had hats and sunscreen, and like, he was so, so good. And he was so proud of us too. Like, he would just announce that the Canadians were here. So that was really cool. We kind of did a tour down the coast. We went to like Kusadasi and if something, I don't remember, Istanbul for about 3 days as well. We just went to a whole bunch of different places, like practically new place every day, which was tiresome, but we saw everything that we could have possibly seen. We went to a hookah bar in Kusadasi, which was my favorite. It was so cool. It's so chill and relaxing. It was a rooftop hookah bar overlooking the Mediterranean. You're in a giant beanbag chair, smoking shisha, and just relaxing. Sorry. That's the other thing about having an open mind, too, is that half of my group didn't want to try shisha because they thought it was bad because it was, like, smoking and whatever. But, you know what? I'll try anything once. It was relaxing. It was great. We also went on a 5-hour boat tour in Kusadasi, which I highly recommend doing if you go there, because it was so relaxing. It was about 50 degrees on the top of the boat, no word of a lie. We all walked off looking like lobsters because we completely underestimated how much sunscreen we needed. But it was so relaxing. You went from bay to bay, they served you lunch, and you could dive in the water, and it was very, very nice. Istanbul, massive city, just massive. I don't think we even saw like 1/100th of the city. I don't think. We were in a hostel, which was really cool. I definitely recommend staying in hostels. They're just a great experience. You meet different people. And we were only a few blocks away from the Blue Mosque, so we would go there at night and just sit on the lawn and just, you know, enjoy the experience. The Blue Mosque was a really cool experience. It's a massive place. But one of the things is that they do ask you to, ladies, cover your skin, so we had to wear long skirts and no pants. Long skirts, cover your arms, cover your chest, cover your head. And of course, the group that I was with didn't like that because they just felt that it was wrong. And I thought they were being very disrespectful, but that was just my opinion. Because, you know what? I'm going into your mosque, I'm going to respect whatever you want me to do. You know what? It's not my place to judge. You want to do what you want to do? Go for it. I will totally go along with it. That was a really cool place to go. I loved it. The calls to prayer that happened throughout the day freak you out at first because it's this loud, booming Arabic voice over like an intercom type of thing. It was terrifying, but you got used to it. And it was really kind of a cool experience. In the Grand Bazaar, which you have to go to, you just have to, one of the calls to prayer happened while we were there, and I was with a few people eating lunch, and all of a sudden, like, a good mile of the Grand Bazaar shut down. A bunch of men rolled out their mats, got washed up, and just started doing their prayer, and it was just so, so cool to watch and learn and experience. We had Turkish ice cream, which was great. They kind of perform with it, like, they just trick you. And it's really, really fun, and it tastes so good, and it's really well warranted after a day in 50-degree heat. We went to Pamukkale, which is a natural wonder of the world. It's like calcium deposits, and just a gorgeous place. Google it if you want to see pictures, because it's just stunning. What else? Yeah, I would go back to Turkey in a heartbeat. By far my favorite place that I've ever been. It was amazing. And I didn't feel unsafe there. I felt very welcome. I felt like people wanted to learn from us, and I felt like they wanted to welcome us. And it was just a very, very beautiful country. I'd totally go back. So if it's not on your list, it really should be. There's a lot to see. There's so much stuff that I'd love to go back and take a look at because we didn't get the time to. Yeah. So I'm going to Iceland in about a month, actually, just exactly a month. So I will probably make a video when I'm back describing my experiences there. I'm going for the Eve Fan Fest, not myself personally, my boyfriend is, but I'm doing the Sisters of Eve program, which means that I get to do like a spa tour, and volcanoes and geysers and all that stuff. And we're doing like a pub crawl and a hangover party in the Blue Lagoon. Like, I'm so excited. And that was just kind of what spurred this, is I just needed to talk about travel, and I don't want to talk my boyfriend's ear off about this anymore because I'm sure he's heard my stories like 3 times. He's been so patient. So I figured I would just let the world of YouTube know my experiences in different countries. And yeah, that's been that. So everybody have a great day, and I will see you all soon. Bye!